Hi guys. Okay, so I just want to go over this lesson 3 so you understand what your expectations are. So if you go ahead and go into your lesson 3, you're going to open up the note catcher part, and it is the building background knowledge about Mexico. So in chapter 2, Las Uvas, something terrible happened to Papa, right? We don't know exactly what it was, but the author alludes to possibly a Baquero or the bandits. So we're not 100% positive who it was, right? But we just know that there's people at this time there's bandits going on. So in this assignment, you are going to answer the question, why was Esperanza's papa killed? So we are going to read a document. You're going to read um and then you're going to take some notes. So in the bottom, if you go down and you scroll down the document, you have your reading aquí. Your reading is right here. So let me make this a little bit smaller. So your reading is here. This one says Mexico, Government and Revolution. So you're going to use this to fill out your notes here, your key points, and then your thoughts and connections. You do not need to use complete sentences here, but I want you to write one complete sentence on what you think, what your thoughts or connections were, okay? And then you have your Mexico's neighbor to the north. This reading you're going to use to fill out that second part, neighbor to the north. And then the last reading is rich versus poor, and that's right here. You're going to use it to support you. And remember, Esperanza Rising is occurring in the 1920s. Um, so this is the history of Mexico. So building background knowledge about Mexico. Your question, why was Esperanza's papa killed? When you're done filling out this note catcher, you are actually going to complete a Google form, and you're going to write a paragraph, not just one sentence, a full paragraph about why you think Esperanza's papa was killed, and you're going to explain it using details. So if you are still listening to this video, that's okay. I am actually going to go ahead and read these for you, okay? So I'm going to read these for you as a support. Mexico, Government and Revolution. In 1910, the poor and working class people of Mexico rebelled against the wealthy landowners and Porfirio Diaz, the dictator who had ruled the country for a number of years. While Porfirio Diaz put a lot of time and money into building factories, dams, and roads, the rural workers and peasants suffered greatly because of land laws that took their land away from them. They were paid poor wages for hard work and were treated badly by wealthy landowners. When the people began to rise up against him, Porfirio Diaz resigned and left the country. But still the fighting continued because Mexico's new leaders failed to make the changes the people wanted. The Mexican Revolution was long and many lives were lost. One good thing that came of this time was the Mexican Constitution, written in 1917. This Constitution outlined the rules that the government must follow. It also gave all people of Mexico rights, regardless of whether they were workers or landowners. Many people consider the revolution to have ended in 1920, but the fighting continued for many years. So while I was reading, you should have been you're catching notes here. Those key points, the government of revolution. So I'm going to go back into the text and see if I can find those. So 1910, Mexico, the people of Mexico rebelled against the wealthy. So that is a keynote, right? So 1910, the people rebelled, and rebel means to go against. And wealthy is another word for rich or has a lot of money. We also read that The rural workers and peasants suffered because of land laws that took their land away. So land laws took their land away. That's terrible. Land laws took people's land away. That is so terrible. That's another thing that happened in this. Oh, right here too, they were also paid what? Paid poor wages for their work, and they were also treated badly. So not only were they paid poor, but they were treated badly. So paid poor wages and treated unfairly. Yeah, that means they were not treated well. So the people were fighting. The Constitution made it to where all people had rights, regardless of they were workers or landowners, but the fighting continued, right? So even though the Mexican Revolution ended in 1920, people were still fighting. And all Mexicans were given their rights. I think that's important. People were still fighting, yeah, because they still lost things, so it was still very poor. So my thoughts and connections here, we can bring it together, bring down. So basically, what is your understanding? What are your thoughts? So I could say basically, I feel or I think this was so or in this part, in this text, I read. Okay, so I am going to complete one of these sentences. I'm going to say, basically, people who did not own land did not have rights until 1920, right? Because, and then I'm also going to add, since people were treated badly, there was a lot of fighting, right? Okay, so this is just one way we can fill it out, guys. Basically, you're catching all of the important facts here, and then you're putting your thoughts or your connections here. So you're using your own words. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to read your the other two passages, and then you can go in and finish the notes. So Mexico's neighbor to the north. During the Mexican-American War, Mexico lost nearly half its territory. Mexico lost nearly half its territory to the U.S. within 2 years. The United States had captured Mexico City and won the war. Oh, so the United States captured Mexico City. Mexico was forced to sell its northern territories, including Texas and what are now the states of California, Arizona, and New Mexico, to the U.S. for only $18 million. This was a very low price to pay for the amount of rich land the United States was getting from Mexico. Because of this, the U.S. and Mexico had very bad relations for many years after the war. That's terrible, guys. So, rich versus poor. Throughout Mexico's history, there had been small villages in the countryside. For generations, families have lived and worked on the farms that surrounded these villages. The families who worked the land did not own any of the farms. This meant that they did not make very much money because they were paid low wages to work for the landowners. In fact, more than 70% of Mexico's population in the 1920s was extremely poor. Alrighty, boys and girls, you're going to use these readings, capture your notes, and share your thoughts.